Now, before we get out of here, let's turn our attention to the coaching news of the day.
Yeah.
I see you over there playing on your Guster computer.
I'm doing multiple things at once here.
Obviously, the big news out there is that Eric Musselman is in discussions to become the next head coach at USC and leave Arkansas. What's the latest on that situation?
This is real-time information when we're on, which, by the way, no one cares, but there's a crazy streak where I've been on HQ with a high major hiring, like 6 of the past 9 of these things. So here it happens again here on CBS Sports Network. Sources are indicating to me that barring a last-minute change of heart, which is just frankly doesn't look like it's on the table. USC is set to hire Eric Musselman. They are in the closing stages of this. A deal has not been signed. Eric Musselman has been at Arkansas for the past 5 years. He has been involved in this search going back more than a week. He has been a high-priority target. I was told by a source less than 10 minutes ago that AD Jen Cohen, frankly, was so taken with Eric Musselman and people around the USC program that unless there is something at the very last minute that steps in to change this, Eric Musselman will be the next coach at USC, which would mean if we in fact get there, and that looks like where we are headed right now, the final high major job would fill, and then another high major job would open, because then you get Arkansas, which is a better job than USC. It is not debatable, but the 2 factors here in play for Musselman was location, huge. Went to San Diego, Los Angeles. He's got plenty of ties to Southern California. And then, frankly, Arkansas is coming off a very disappointing season. It's so much less pressure there. And if you're trying to USC, you're like, what, the 9th most important team entity at best in that city. You're trying to get an injection. Musselman certainly brings that.
I think location is something that fans often completely overlook, and it's so important to coaches and so important to their families. It's a story about nothing, but coincidentally, like, I was with Muss the weekend that he met his wife. We were in Los Angeles. Obviously, living in Los Angeles is a different place than living in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's a college town against a major metropolitan, one of the greatest and big cities that we have in this country. And so I've actually had coaches call me before when they are, a candidate for a certain job. I had a coach call me one time who was a candidate at Mississippi State. And he didn't call me because he wanted to know, what I knew about Mississippi State basketball or what I knew about the athletic director. He wanted to know because I live in Mississippi. I was raised in Mississippi. And he wanted to know about living in Starkville, Mississippi and raising a family in Starkville, Mississippi. It was very important to him. If I'm about to relocate my wife and kids, where am I relocating them to? And based on, I hope, after our conversation, I can just tell you, he turned down Mississippi State.
Yes.
I don't think I made him turn down Mississippi State, but he did. But that type of thing it's a real thing that matters to families. And I'm unsurprised that Muss and Danielle, his wife, would prefer to live in L.A. than say, Fayetteville, Arkansas.
No, it's a major one. I'm literally just going to send the tweet right now. So it's out there. It would take something at the 11th hour to change this. There was a second candidate, won't reveal it here, who was involved late into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, but USC is pivoting in a different direction. And if indeed this becomes material soon here, it's huge. When Arkansas, if and when Arkansas opens, then it comes the question of who would be up for that job. Oh my goodness, GP. I mean, you would think, I'm vamping off the top of my head, Buzz Williams. You may hear Will Wade's name tossed out there. I wonder Chris Jans. There's a number of different candidates, but that's a whole other cycle. And Hunter Yurchek, the athletic director at Arkansas, if he winds up having to deal with this in real time here, no question about it, he'll be prepared. He actually was on the record talking earlier this week about the fact that Musselman was involved in this, and it's been an interesting search.
It feels like Arkansas has known for at least several weeks, and maybe longer, that it might, emphasis on the word might, but that it might need to be looking for a new basketball coach at some point, because there was reporting, and I'm sure you talked to sources just like I, that must, if he couldn't get the USC job, there were other jobs that have already filled that he would have had interest in as well. So it appears now he will leave Fayetteville for USC. And you would agree with this, one of the best jobs in the SEC, about 20 seconds, is about to be open.
Yeah, without a doubt. Arkansas unquestionably ranks among the top 3 or 4 jobs in the SEC. Of course, we're getting an SEC that is expanding to 16 teams with Texas and Oklahoma coming in. So we wait for the next stage here, GP. But it always seems like the Final Four every year brings at least one of these major coaching story headlines away from the actual games, and this is that one.
This is definitely that one.